We all know the treat, the Pop Tart, but do we know the story? Well, thanks to Jerry Seinfeld's new film, we still don't. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Netflix film Unfrosted. Now, this movie looked like it was going to be fun. It was bright, it was vibrant, it was sort of parody-ish of a real story, and it featured a whole load of actors in the film. The amount of stars that's in this, it was guaranteed to be a big success. However, it kind of fell flat. Now, the one thing we have to keep in mind throughout this entire review is the fact that Unfrosted is meant to be a sort of parody of the biography film. With a trend of biographical dramas coming out, films like Napoleon, Barbie, Oppenheimer, there's been a sort of resurgence of biopics, and Unfrosted takes a parody look at this. It's a formula that has been done before with films like Walk Hard or Al, the Weird Al Yankovic story. But the difference between those two and Unfrosted is the fact that Unfrosted seems to be unable to land its humor. With this being Jerry Seinfeld's directorial debut as well as writing the script, it feels like it's very stuck in the 90s along with his brand of humor. While he's a great stand-up comedian and gained massive success with the series Seinfeld, he can't replicate that with a film like Unfrosted. Even though it's brand new, it already feels aged. There are some moments which are quite fun due to the vibrant nature of the film as well as its over-exaggeration at some points, but it feels like whatever humor they've tried to use, especially referencing pop culture moments as well as film moments, the humor just fell flat on its face. And I think what makes the over-exaggeration even worse is the fact that you've got two actors here who have a very subtle humor and kind of understand what role they're in and what part to play in all this. You've got Hugh Grant playing the mascot Tony the Tiger, and he is this sort of pompous English actor, very Shakespearean, who is trying to figure out this role to comic effect. The way that he uses his comedy is very deadpan. It's honestly very British, and that's why it works so well against the over-exaggeration of everyone else and makes them kind of look bad. And the other standout performance was Bill Burr as JFK. He also understood the assignment at hand and kept a very subtle humor about it. Like, you know this is meant to be funny, but there's a deadpan way of getting that across. By taking the role more seriously, it becomes even funnier, whereas everyone else seems to not connect with their roles and there's not much chemistry there. It's a shame because you've got a massive cast of comedians in the lead roles as well as a ton of cameos within the entire film. While of course you've got Jerry Seinfeld and Melissa McCarthy in the lead roles, but you also have a slew of comedians coming to play in this film. You've got actors and comedians like Jim Gaffigan, Peter Dinklage, Amy Schumer, Christian Slater, James Marsden, and one of the best cameos of all, Jon Hamm and John Slattery from their characters from Mad Men. That was honestly one of the best cameos. It's so good to see the two of them back on screen again. All of that seemed like a recipe for the perfect comedy, but unfortunately what we got was an overly drawn out sketch that could be on an episode of Family Guy, but not a very good sketch. At the end of the day, Unfrosted feels like a giant misfire. With a lack of substance and flat humor, there's very little much else that this film can ride on except the coattails of the entire cast. Is it worth a watch? Kind of. It's nice to see all these comedians, and if you can make it all the way to the end, you'll be treated with a nice post-credit sequence. But other than that, you can really give this one a miss. So do yourself a favor, Unfrosted is now streaming on Netflix. Go and watch it, tell me what you think down in the comments below. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Make sure you go and subscribe to those channels for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.